Are you wasting your money on collagen supplements? There is a common misconception that vitamin C is the only orange booster you need for anti-aging. But science shows us there is a missing link, a gap in the nutritional advice that most people and even many doctors completely miss. There is a specific metallic orange cofactor that acts as the glue for your tissues. If you are missing this one element, your body is like a construction site with plenty of bricks, but absolutely no mortar to hold them together. You can eat all the protein and take all the expensive powders you want, but without this hidden activator, that collagen will never actually bind to your skin or joints. It will simply pass right through you. This is the source of the frustration I see in so many of my patients. They come to me asking, why am I doing everything right, but my skin is still thinning? Why do my knees still ache when I stand up? The answer is that you don't just need the bricks, you need the workers to lay them. In this conversation, we are going to identify this missing orange mineral. And no, it is not a vitamin. And we are going to walk through the specific food list you need to turn your body's repair engine back on. We are going to explore why your body might have stopped listening to the healthy signals you're sending it. And I promise you, by the end of our time together, you will have a clear, simple roadmap to feeling sturdy, resilient, and comfortable in your own skin again. Before we dive into the science of rebuilding your body, I want to invite you to join our community here. If you are ready to look past the trends and get to the root causes of aging, please consider subscribing. We share the kind of deep dive senior health tips that usually get skipped over in rush doctor appointments. And I'd love to know who I'm speaking to today. Where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. It is always amazing to see how far our family extends. Now, let's get to work on rebuilding your foundation. The first thing we need to address is the identity of this orange mystery. When most people think of collagen and the color orange, their mind goes straight to vitamin C. And they aren't wrong. Vitamin C is vital, and we will talk about the right way to get it later. But there is another player, a mineral, that has a distinct reddish orange hue in its natural elemental form that is arguably even more critical for the structural integrity of your tissue. I am talking about copper. You might hear copper and think of old pipes or pennies, but in your body, copper is the master weaver. Imagine your collagen fibers are like loose threads of yarn. You can have piles of yarn, but until you knit them together, you don't have a sweater, you just have a mess. Copper works through an enzyme called lysyl oxidase. This enzyme is the knitting needle. It takes those loose collagen threads and ties them together into a strong, unrecognizable, durable fabric. If you don't have that knitting needle, the structure simply falls apart. This isn't just a metaphor I'm using to make it sound simple. A pivotal study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that copper deficiency results in a marked reduction in the tensile strength of skin and connective tissue because this cross-linking process fails. Essentially, without copper, your blood vessels and skin lose their elasticity. Imagine an old rubber band that creates cracks when you stretch it rather than snapping back. To fix this, we don't need you chewing on pennies. We need to look at activator foods. Many people think of leafy greens, which are great, but one of the most potent and enjoyable sources is actually dark chocolate, specifically high percentage cacao and organ meats like liver, if you can stomach them. By simply ensuring you have adequate copper, you are handing your body the tools to knit your tissues back together. It's a small addition that changes the chemical reality of your skin. However, copper does not work alone. It operates in a buddy system. It has a partner, a best friend in the biological world. And this brings us to the next crucial component of our collagen strategy. You cannot discuss copper without discussing zinc. These two minerals exist in a delicate balance. Like a seesaw, if one goes too high, the other drops. So they must be consumed in harmony. If copper is the knitting needle, zinc is the foreman of the construction site. It is responsible for DNA synthesis and cell division, which are the very first steps in creating new collagen. If you have a wound that won't heal, or skin that stays red and angry for days after a small scratch, that is often a whisper from your body asking for zinc. A study from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry showed that zinc plays a specific, indispensable role in the regulation of collagen degradation. This means it stops your body from breaking down the collagen you already have too quickly. It protects the investment you've already made. So, how do we get this dynamic duo of copper and zinc in perfect balance without doing complex math at the grocery store? This is where our activator foods come in. The superstar here is pumpkin seeds. These little green gems are powerhouse factories of zinc, and they contain the necessary cofactors to help you absorb it. Imagine your body is a factory floor. Zinc is the manager making sure the workers show up on time. If you lack zinc, the factory shuts down and repair stops. A handful of pumpkin seeds a day is like hiring the best manager in a business. It's a simple, crunchy swap that does heavy lifting for your skin and joints. But let's pivot for a moment to the environment these nutrients are landing in. You can have the copper knitting needles and the zinc Foreman, but what if the raw materials are being destroyed before they can be used? This brings us to a hidden enemy that I see affecting so many of my patients, causing stiffness and sagging, even when they diet as perfect. I'm talking about sugar and a process called glycation. I know we all love a sweet treat now and then, but when we talk about collagen, sugar is essentially a demolition crew. When you have excess sugar in your bloodstream, it attaches itself to proteins, specifically collagen and elastin, in a process called glycation. This forms new molecules with a very appropriate acronym, AGEs, or advanced glycation end products. Think of it like caramelization. When you heat sugar on the stove, it turns brown and hard. Glycation does something similar to your flexible, bouncy collagen fibers. It makes them brittle, stiff, and discolored. A study published in the British Journal of Dermatology confirmed that the accumulation of AGEs in the skin is directly linked to the loss of elasticity and the deepening of wrinkles as we age. If you feel stiff when you wake up, or if your skin feels like parchment paper, glycation is likely part of the problem. The actionable advice here isn't just stop eating sugar, because that's incredibly hard and sometimes unrealistic. It is to focus on anti-glycation cooking and pairing. Instead of high heat grilling or frying, which creates more of these AGEs, try slow cooking, steaming, or poaching your foods. And when you do eat carbohydrates, pair them with fiber to slow down the absorption. Imagine you are coating your fragile collagen fibers in a protective shield, bouncing the sugar away before it can stick and harden. Now, I want to pause for just a second. We've covered some heavy biochemistry here: copper, zinc, glycation. If you are finding this breakdown helpful, if it's making sense of things you felt in your own body, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button. It helps this information reach other people who are struggling with the same aches and pains. Moving on, we have to talk about the orange vitamin that started this whole conversation, vitamin C. We established earlier that C alone isn't enough, but that doesn't mean it isn't vital. In fact, it is the fuel. Your body literally cannot twist the collagen strands into their triple helix shape without vitamin C. It is chemically impossible. But here is where most seniors get it wrong. They rely on a glass of orange juice in the morning. The problem is that juice is often a sugar bomb. Remember the glycation we just discussed? And the vitamin C in it is unstable and oxidizes quickly. We need to look at better sources. We need whole food sources where the C is protected by bioflavonoids. A fascinating study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher intakes of vitamin C from whole foods were associated with a lower likelihood of a wrinkled appearance and senile dryness. Note that it said whole foods, not supplements. The synergy matters. We want you to look at red bell peppers, kiwi fruit, and strawberries. A red bell pepper actually has significantly more vitamin C than an orange without the massive sugar spike. Imagine vitamin C as the electricity running through the power tools on our construction site. No electricity, no building. Swap that morning juice for a sliced bell pepper in your omelet, and you've just turned the power back on. Let's go deeper. We have the tools: copper, zinc, the protection, the power, and the power vitamin C. But what about the hydration? You can build a beautiful house, but if the wood is dry and brittle, it will crack. This brings us to hyaluronic acid and hydration. You might have seen hyaluronic acid in expensive serums that you put on your face, but your body makes it internally to lubricate your joints and plump up your skin. It acts like a sponge, holding up to 1,000 times its weight in water. However, as we age, our natural production drops. This is why we dry out. But you can't just drink water to fix this. You need to hold the water in. There was a double-blind study published in the journal Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology that showed oral ingestion of hyaluronic acid improved skin moisture and elasticity significantly. But you don't necessarily need a pill. You can get precursors to this from bone broth and starchy root vegetables. Think of a dried up kitchen sponge. You can pour water over it, but if it's old and degraded, the water runs right off. Hyaluronic acid regenerates the sponge itself so it can hold the moisture. My advice, incorporate bone broth into your weekly routine. It contains the amino acids and glycosaminoglycans that signal your body to retain water in the tissues rather than just flushing it out. Now, let's tackle a logistical problem that ruins all your hard work: stomach acid. You can eat the perfect diet, pumpkin seeds, red peppers, bone broth, but if you cannot break them down, they do you no good. This is the absorption gap that affects so many people over 60. As we age, our stomach acid naturally becomes weaker. We call this hypochlorhydria. Strong acid is required to break down proteins into the amino acids needed for collagen, and it is required to ionize minerals like zinc and copper so they can be absorbed. If your digestion feels sluggish, or if you have acid reflux, which ironically is often caused by low stomach acid causing the valve to malfunction, you might be malnourished even on a full stomach. A review in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society points out that atrophic gastritis and reduced acid secretion are highly prevalent in the elderly, leading to malabsorption of key nutrients. Imagine a toll booth on a highway. If the toll gate is broken and won't open, the trucks carrying the supplies can't get through to the city. The supplies are right there, but they are stuck. To open the gate, we can try a very simple remedy: apple cider vinegar. Taking a small tablespoon diluted in water before your main meal can help lower the pH of your stomach, just enough to prime the digestive enzymes. It signals your stomach, get ready, work is coming. It's a small habit, but it bridges the gap between what you eat and what you actually absorb. We are building a comprehensive picture here, but we must address the time of day when the actual construction happens. You don't see road crews working during rush hour. They work at night. Your body is the same. This brings us to sleep and growth hormone. Collagen synthesis is circadian. It happens primarily while you are in deep sleep. This is when your body releases human growth hormone, HGH, which triggers the fibroblasts, the little cells that make collagen, to get to work. If you are sleeping poorly, waking up constantly, or only getting 5 hours, you are cutting the work shift in half. Research in Nature Cell Biology has elucidated the mechanism by which the circadian clock controls the secretion of collagen. They found that if the circadian rhythm is disrupted, the collagen fibrils are thinner and disorganized. It's like the night crew showing up tired and doing a sloppy job. To optimize this, we need to protect your sleep architecture. This connects back to our earlier point about minerals. Magnesium is the relaxation mineral. While not a direct builder of collagen, it relaxes the muscles and nervous system to allow you to enter that deep restorative sleep where the building happens. Including magnesium-rich foods like spinach or almonds in your dinner can help set the stage for the night shift to do their best work. There is one final factor we must discuss, and it is perhaps the most pervasive in our modern lives: stress and cortisol. Cortisol is the enemy of collagen. It is catabolic, meaning it breaks things down for energy. When you are chronically stressed, your body thinks you are in danger. It doesn't care about smooth skin or lubricated joints. It cares about survival. So it steals resources. It breaks down collagen to convert it into glucose for quick energy. A study in the journal Brain Behavior and Immunity showed that psychological stress delays wound healing and impairs the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines needed for the initial stages of repair. Imagine acid rain pouring down on a limestone statue. Over time, the details blur, the structure weakens, and the statue begins to crumble. That is cortisol raining on your collagen. We cannot eliminate stress, but we can manage our response to it. This is where breath work or gentle movement like Tai Chi becomes a medical intervention, not just a hobby. By lowering your cortisol, you are essentially putting up an umbrella to stop that acid rain. You are telling your body, we are safe. You can stop burning the furniture for heat. You can start rebuilding the house. So let's take a breath and look at the full picture we've painted. It's not just about taking a pill, it's a symphony. You need the protein bricks, the vitamin C electricity, the copper knitting needles, the zinc Foreman, the hydration sponge, the stomach acid toll booth, the sleep night crew, and the umbrella against stress. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to change everything at once. Let's simplify this into a practical daily routine that you can start tomorrow. First, look at your breakfast. Can you swap that toast or sugary cereal for something with protein and healthy fat? Maybe a yogurt with those magical pumpkin seeds we talked about? You've just ticked the zinc and protein boxes. Second, for lunch, look for the orange and green, a salad with spinach for magnesium and copper, and red peppers for the vitamin C. Drizzle it with olive oil and perhaps a splash of apple cider vinegar to help you absorb it all. Third, protect your sleep. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Turn off the news an hour before bed. Give your night crew the best possible chance to repair the wear and tear of the day. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, what it would feel like to have your body working with you again instead of against you. Imagine waking up and putting your feet on the floor without that sharp catch in your ankle. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing a glow that comes from actual structural health, not just a surface level cream. This is possible. The body is incredibly forgiving. It wants to repair itself. It is just waiting for you to hand it the right tools. You have the power to influence this. We often feel that aging is something that just happens to us, a slide we are sliding down. But the science, the hard data from the Journal of Gerontology, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and all the others we've discussed tells a different story. It tells us that we are active participants. Every time you choose the pumpkin seeds over the chips, every time you choose the early bedtime over the late night TV, you are casting a vote for a stronger, more resilient you. I want to leave you with this thought. Your body is the only house you have to live in. It has sheltered you through decades of storms, joys, and challenges. It deserves the best renovation materials you can give it. It's not about trying to look 20 again. It's about having the structural integrity to enjoy your 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and 80 seconds with freedom and vitality. Now, I have a question for you, and I really want to see your answers in the comments. We talked about a lot of activator foods today: pumpkin seeds, red peppers, bone broth, dark chocolate. Which one of these are you most willing to add to your grocery list this week? Or is there one you already eat? Let me know down below. I read every comment, and I love seeing how you translate this science into your daily meals. If you found value in this deep dive, if you appreciate understanding the why behind the health advice, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. We are building a movement here of seniors who refuse to settle for normal aging, because your health is absolutely worth fighting for. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's an honor to be a part of your health journey. Remember, small changes compounded over time create massive results. Go eat some pumpkin seeds, get some rest, and take care of that amazing body of yours. I'll see you in the next video.